Today, I came across a beautiful narration that deeply resonates with the state of our hearts, especially when reflecting on our inevitable meeting with death. This narration, attributed to the great-granddaughter of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, Fatimah bint Hussein ibn Ali, may Allah be pleased with them all, carries profound lessons. Fatimah recounts from her noble lineage, passing down wisdom from the great companion of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, a man who embraced Islam early in Makkah. His devotion and character were unparalleled, earning him a distinguished place among the best of people. This companion would often reflect on his spiritual state and declare, "If I were to be in one of 3 specific states at the time of my death, I would have no doubt that I would be among the people of paradise." These profound moments of clarity, sincerity, and closeness to Allah serve as a roadmap for our own lives. Let's dive into the 3 states he mentioned, explore their depth, and reflect on how we can strive to achieve them. The first state, engaging with the Quran. The companion began by highlighting the state of his heart when reading or listening to the Quran. He wasn't merely referring to casual engagement, such as playing the Quran in the background while being distracted by other tasks. Instead, he described a deliberate, focused interaction with the words of Allah, reciting with intention, pondering over their meanings, and allowing them to penetrate his soul. Take a moment to think about this. How often do we read the Quran with true contemplation? Ramadan, the month of the Quran, is only 3 months away. What better way to prepare our hearts than by committing to a structured Quranic routine starting now? Aim to complete 10 parts of the Quran over the next 3 months, so that by Ramadan your heart is already attuned to its rhythms and messages. Now think about the impact of those moments when you read the Quran without distractions, or when you listen to a beautiful recitation that moves you to tears. There are countless talented reciters whose voices have the power to stir even the hardest hearts. These are moments that remind us of our purpose, of our connection to the Creator. Ask yourself, how often do I experience this state? How much of my life is spent in this blessed connection with the Quran? This companion understood the transformative power of the Quran, and he made it a central part of his life. The second state, listening to the Prophet's words. The companion's second state of certainty stemmed from sitting in the presence of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, and listening to his words. While we cannot physically experience the presence of the Prophet today, we can still connect to his legacy through his teachings and narrations. Reflect on the most righteous person you've ever encountered, someone whose presence lifted your faith and inspired you to be better. Imagine the impact of sitting with the Prophet himself, whose character, wisdom, and sincerity were unmatched. The companions of the Prophet often spoke about how their faith would soar in his presence. They feared hypocrisy when they couldn't maintain the same level of faith after leaving his company. This illustrates the transformative power of righteous companionship. Even today, being in the presence of scholars, pious worshippers, or individuals dedicated to Allah can elevate our own iman, faith. Their sincerity and connection to Allah can inspire us, even if we feel unworthy of being among them. To emulate this, immerse yourself in the words and actions of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. Collections like Riyadh as-Salihin are treasure troves of wisdom that bring tranquility and guidance to the heart. Set aside time regularly to read these narrations, reflect on their meanings, and internalize their lessons. These are not mere words, they are keys to living a fulfilling life rooted in faith. The third state, witnessing a janazah. The final state of profound reflection mentioned by the companion is witnessing a janazah, funeral prayer. There's something deeply humbling about standing in prayer, knowing that the person before you has embarked on their final journey. It's a moment that forces you to confront your own mortality and reflect on the state of your heart. Imagine the scene: a body being carried from the hearse to the prayer area, the imam reciting the takbir 4 times, and the realization that this person is moments away from being placed in the grave. This is not just their reality, it's our reality. Every janazah we witness is a reminder that one day we will be the ones carried to our final resting place. The companion spoke about engaging in self-talk during such moments. He would remind himself, "This is me. I am the one being carried. What am I feeling? What am I about to face?" This introspection transforms the experience from a ritual to a personal rehearsal for our own passing. Imagine yourself in the grave, awaiting the questioning of the angels. What would you wish you had done differently in this life? Such thoughts can awaken the heart and inspire meaningful change. Dear brothers and sisters, let us not become desensitized to these moments. Each janazah is an opportunity to prepare for our own. Think of it as practice. Just as athletes rehearse their moves repeatedly, we should rehearse our departure by reflecting deeply during every janazah we attend. This mindfulness will shape our actions and prepare us for the ultimate meeting with our Creator. A call to action. The wisdom shared by this companion highlights 3 powerful practices: engaging deeply with the Quran, connecting with the words and teachings of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and reflecting on our mortality through witnessing janazas. Each of these states has the power to transform our hearts and align us with our ultimate goal, pleasing Allah and attaining paradise. Let us commit to incorporating these practices into our daily lives. Start by dedicating time to the Quran each day, even if it's just a few verses. Immerse yourself in the narrations of the Prophet and reflect on how they apply to your life. And the next time you attend a janazah, take a moment to reflect deeply on your own journey. May Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, bless us with hearts that are always connected to Him. May He make the best of our deeds the last of them, and the best of our days the day we meet Him. And may He grant us the ultimate success of entering paradise without reckoning. Ameen. When we talk about engaging with the Quran, it's not just about fulfilling an obligation. It's about fostering a profound relationship with the words of Allah. The Quran is not merely a book. It is a divine communication, a guide to navigating this life and preparing for the hereafter. Reflect on the fact that every single verse is intentionally placed, every word filled with wisdom. Imagine sitting alone in a quiet corner of your home, opening the Quran and allowing its light to flood your heart. This is not a task to be rushed or a box to tick on a checklist. It's an intimate conversation with Allah, where you are the listener and the Quran is speaking directly to your soul. When you recite, do so with sincerity, as though every verse was revealed specifically for you. Think about those moments when the verses resonate so deeply that they bring tears to your eyes. Have you ever paused while reading and thought, "This verse is exactly what I needed to hear today"? That's not a coincidence. That's the power of the Quran. Allah knows what is in our hearts, and He provides the guidance we need, precisely when we need it. For those who struggle with Arabic, don't be discouraged. Begin with small steps. Learn a few verses at a time and pair your recitation with the translation. Even if you stumble over the words, your effort is beloved to Allah. Remember the words of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. The one who recites the Quran and is proficient in it will be with the noble and righteous scribes, and the one who recites it, struggling as it is difficult for him, will have 2 rewards, Bukhari and Muslim. Take this as motivation to start today. Allocate a specific time daily for Quranic recitation and reflection. Turn off all distractions. Sit in a quiet space and immerse yourself in the beauty of Allah's words. Over time, you'll notice the profound impact this practice has on your heart and your perspective on life. Reviving the Sunnah through connection. The second state mentioned by the companion reminds us of the timeless wisdom found in the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. His words are not just historical records, they are a blueprint for leading a meaningful and fulfilling life. Have you ever experienced the tranquility that comes from reading the Hadith? These narrations carry the weight of the Prophet's wisdom, his compassion, and his unwavering dedication to guiding humanity. Through them, we learn not just about rituals and rules, but also about how to cultivate kindness, patience, and resilience. One way to deepen this connection is by dedicating time to study the Prophet's life. Books of Sirah, biographies like Ar-Rahiq al-Maktum, the Sealed Nectar, transport us back to the time of the Prophet, allowing us to walk in his footsteps and witness his trials and triumphs. Reflecting on his journey brings us closer to understanding his mission and his love for his ummah. Additionally, consider incorporating his supplications into your daily routine. The du'as of the Prophet are a powerful means of connecting to Allah. Each supplication reflects a deep understanding of human needs and the mercy of the Creator. When you raise your hands and recite these du'as, you are not just asking Allah for help. You are also following the Sunnah of the Prophet, aligning your heart with his teachings. As you delve deeper into his words and actions, you'll find yourself yearning to emulate his character. Strive to be the person who brings ease to others, who stands firm in faith despite challenges, and who embodies the qualities of mercy and compassion. This in itself is a form of worship that draws us closer to Allah. Reflecting on mortality. The third state, witnessing a janazah, is perhaps the most humbling reminder of our reality. No matter how much wealth, status, or success we accumulate in this world, we will all one day be placed in a grave, wrapped in a simple shroud. Death is the ultimate equalizer, and it is the one certainty that no one can escape. When you attend a janazah, do you allow the gravity of the moment to sink in, or do you find yourself distracted, treating it as just another event on your schedule? The companion's practice of self-talk during a janazah is a powerful tool for reflection. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself as the one being carried. What thoughts run through your mind? What regrets surface? What hopes do you have for your meeting with Allah? This practice of imagining your own janazah can be transformative. It shifts your perspective, reminding you of what truly matters. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, encouraged us to frequently remember death, as it helps us detach from the temporary pleasures of this world and focus on the eternal rewards of the hereafter. If you haven't already, make it a point to attend janazahs regularly. Each time, take a moment to reflect deeply. Ask yourself, am I prepared for this journey? Have I fulfilled my responsibilities to Allah and to those around me? These questions, though difficult, are essential for aligning our priorities and living a life that pleases Allah. Preparing for the ultimate meeting. As believers, our ultimate goal is to meet Allah in a state that earns His pleasure. But how do we prepare for this meeting? The answer lies in consistency and sincerity. Start by evaluating your daily routines. How much time do you dedicate to acts of worship? Beyond the obligatory prayers, do you engage in additional acts of devotion such as voluntary prayers, fasting, or giving in charity? Remember, it's not about quantity but quality. Even small, consistent deeds can weigh heavily on the scales if they are done with sincerity. Another powerful practice is to engage in regular self-accountability. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to reflect on your actions. What did you do well? Where did you fall short? This habit of self-reflection helps you identify areas for improvement and keeps you mindful of your purpose. Finally, never underestimate the power of dua. Continuously ask Allah for guidance, forgiveness, and steadfastness. Pray for a good ending, for the strength to overcome challenges, and for the ability to remain on the straight path. A legacy of reflection. The wisdom shared by the companion is a timeless reminder of the importance of mindfulness in our faith. By engaging with the Quran, connecting with the teachings of the Prophet, and reflecting on our mortality, we can transform our hearts and align our lives with the ultimate goal of attaining Allah's pleasure. As we move forward, let us strive to embody these practices in our daily lives. Let us recite the Quran with contemplation, immerse ourselves in the Prophet's teachings, and use every janazah as a moment of self-reflection. May Allah guide us, purify our hearts, and grant us the strength to live lives that are pleasing to Him. And when our time comes, may He grant us a good ending, make our graves spacious, and unite us with our loved ones in the highest ranks of paradise. Ameen.